And my topic is asset planning, protecting your assets from risk, estate planning, and then into tax. Now what we find is that if you go and ask a solicitor how to structure your affairs, you get a very different answer to that you get from an accountant. Okay, if you ask a solicitor how you should set yourself up, a solicitor might say something like, put everything into a trust, because a trust will give you good relationship property protection, general asset protection, and of course, if you have a problem on the estate planning front, it's a very good estate planning vehicle. And that's all true. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I agree with all of that. The problem is sometimes the solicitors will do things that are bad for tax because they're not trained in tax. So what they might do, for example, is take rental properties that are negative for tax, which will be most rental properties if you're gearing, put them into a trust and lock the tax losses up. You won't be able to get tax refunds. Another thing they might do for those of you that are self-employed is they might take the shares of your companies, move the shares of your companies into a trust. Good idea to do that, but if you're not careful, you can drop tax losses to carry forward. You can drop all of your credits for tax paid, your provisional tax paid. So that's a couple of sort of negative tax outcomes that can emerge from having solicitors plan your affairs without having accountants involved. Now, on the other side of the fence, you ask an accountant how to structure your affairs, and you can get a very similar distortion. And it goes something like this. You say to an accountant, how should I structure myself? And the accountant says, oh, you don't need a trust. There's absolutely no tax advantage to you whatsoever of a family trust. And they might be right. There may be no tax efficiency emerging from a trust, but it doesn't make the answer right. Okay, what you want is a blend of the legal goals and the tax goals coming together. And what you're getting when you ask the people in industry is you get from an accountant an answer that's skewed to a tax-driven answer, and from a lawyer an answer that's skewed to the legal side of things. And if you can get the two coming together, then you end up with asset protection, a good estate plan, your relationship property issues worked out, and you're tax efficient. And that's by far the best outcome. So I guess the first lesson for you today is when you talk to your lawyers and accountants, understand that one is speaking English, the other is speaking French. They don't necessarily speak each other's language, and you've got to make sure that they work together to give you that optimal outcome.